Um, as this happens to a lot of my clients, this happened to me. A lot of people from my previous life, my past life, are like, bro, you've changed. I remember you used to be like this.
Yeah.
Right? You had an incident happen with a previous friend where she made some public comments about you. You can go into what those comments were, but how did that affect you, and like, how were you able to deal with that?
Oh, yeah, I was very surprised that she did that, to be honest. Well, I stopped being friends with her like a while ago. So this wasn't like recent.
Yeah.
And what happened was I was making some comments about fat chicks, and I was talking about how you shouldn't, and I think this is basic, like we shouldn't gain a bunch of weight after you get married.
Yeah.
Like I think that's kind of like not being a good wife. She had gained a bunch of weight. I hadn't seen her in a while. It wasn't about her. But the thing was, like, she kept like trying to get me to, like, every time she'd watch my show and just be like, oh, you can't say that. You can't, like, because she was kind of feminist. And like, and I was always fine. Like, that was kind of outside of our friendship, you know? And we just, before you could just like talk about other stuff. But once you go online, like, your friends see all your opinions.
Yeah, isn't it weird?
And so she said she wanted to stop being my friends. And it was weird because when I said, okay, fine, like, you said this. And then she got like really mad. And what I realized is, like, women can kind of be like spiteful. And the problem is, like, with girls is they'll kind of like take a half truth and kind of spin it. I don't even remember what she said, to be honest. I just remember being like, well, that wasn't really true. You know, I just remember like watching it and thinking. But what I realized is, like, I can't really control people. And it was sad, but because I was friends with her for like 20 years.
One of the issues is that you went public with it and started making content based on your relationship with her, like showing old photos and stuff like that.
Oh, I didn't do that.
No, she did.
Yeah, she did.
She did.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It reminds me very similar of like a horrible situation with Justin Waller's mom. I don't know if you've ever seen this thing, but Justin Waller's mom starts like saying stuff that like clearly wasn't true about Justin. And I thought it was so lowbrow of like certain somebody to interview her when that whole thing happened. But it's one of these things where it's like, you're not a content creator, but all of a sudden you're trying to become famous off this thing.
Yeah. Well, because she was like, oh, she's never had a boyfriend. But I'm like, what are you talking about? I just had one. Yeah. I don't know. So I was like, what? I don't know. She was kind of nutty.
Yeah.
But I wasn't like crazy shocked because I don't know. It was kind of a weird thing with her where I always felt like, how do I put it? Like, I felt like we were like closer when we were younger. And like, I don't know if you've ever had someone like from high school where your life just kind of gets like better and theirs like doesn't. So they kind of like get out of shape. I
have 20 or 30 friends that went to jail for selling crack cocaine.
Oh gosh.
From high school.
Okay. Yeah. Well, she wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
But it's just like, I just feel like her life wasn't really like going the way it wanted. And I kind of felt us kind of drifting apart like a couple years earlier. And it's kind of a weird thing with women where you can kind of feel like them getting kind of like jealous of you. Cause you know, I'm trying not to like say too much, but I felt like she was always like my pretty friend. Do you know what I mean? Then she got kind of, you know, and it's weird. I felt like our dynamic sort of like changed after that. I don't know. Cause I don't know, but yeah. I'm trying to not get in trouble. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I understand.
I don't need another 10 videos made about me.
The thing that I think is interesting is I want to make a statement that it's not good for you to have a super high BMI. It's difficult on your heart. It's difficult on your health. It's difficult on your joints.
Yeah.
If I make that statement that it's unhealthy to be at that weight, that does not make me a misogynist. That does not make me a fat shamer. Yeah. I'm making a statement, and I can show you evidence to base what I'm saying. I also don't hate you because I made that statement. Okay. Now, you know Nicole Arbour. You remember when she said "Dear Fat People"? Have you ever seen that video she made?
I've heard of it.
Yeah. So Nicole got sick of LA, just moved to fucking Nashville because she was tired of like, dealing with all this shit. Nicole makes that video. Now she's being a little bit more satirical, and she attacks some people a little bit. And at the end, she's like, "Hey, fat people, I love you. That's why I'm saying this."
Yeah.
But it goes back to what we said before. When I talked to the girls who did OnlyFans, and I didn't say I hate you, I didn't call you a name. I just said, here is a possible consequence for your behavior. Then I was called a misogynist.
Right.
When I go off and you say something to the effect of, it is not a good idea for you to weigh this much. We haven't even gotten into the attraction part.
Yeah.
That doesn't make me a pig for saying that it's probably not a good idea for you to weigh this much. But what makes it even more insidious is this shit here. So the 37 culture study done in 1989 by Dr. David Buss, where he looks at these 37 cultures, they have nothing to do with each other, people from Papua New Guinea, Yanomamo Indians, people who live in the Andes. They have no radio, television, or film, and they looked for a certain hip to waist ratio, about 0.72 to hip to waist ratio. In all of these cultures, they look for signs of youth and signs of fertility, which means that beauty is not subjective. It's actually objective. You can actually see, there was this one study they've done it several times before, where they do like a psychology 101 course, and they take everyone's picture, they superimpose them all over each other, and they get the average of all the faces, and that face is more attractive than anyone in the course. Does that make sense? Because it's a symmetrical face. So we know from that beauty is subjective, and beauty is objective, and the objectivity of beauty is implanted in us based on our genetics. That's why when you have the discussion about whether or not men prefer very obese women versus very skinny women, this is not the argument I always hear is like, no, culture's telling me to not accept women for being overweight. And my response to that is, no, here is unassailable proof of this study of 37 cultures that proves that's not the case. And there's also studies where they show like children stare at more attractive faces for longer, which means this is hardwired into our genetics. My heterosexuality and my belief in like what I find attractive is not a cultural construct. It is genetic. That is offensive to a lot of people. The idea of that whole thing happening, that beauty is objective and not subjective.
Well, and the other thing that we were talking about in the podcast she got mad about was how like husbands are afraid to like say this to their wives that they want them to lose weight. And I just don't think that's fair. Like I really don't think it's fair. And you know what else I realized through this whole thing? I'm like, people really, it doesn't matter like what you do for someone. It's like if they feel spited, like they're very like, there's no loyalty in a way. Like that girl, like literally we'd let her stay with us in the summers.
Wow.
Like for free. I'm like, but you know.
Yeah, but she could still have that opinion and then not make TikToks on it.
Yeah, that's what I thought. You know,
or keep it between you and the other person.
Yeah. So.
You know what's funny? We talk about different aspects of masculinity. One of the aspects that doesn't get brought up enough is the concept of like standing behind your tribe, even when they're wrong. Right?
Yeah.
So I agree, like with the Rollo, with the whole tweet with the vasectomy thing, all these people started attacking him. And I'm like, my first instance, you know Kevin Garnett, obviously, you play basketball. Kevin Garnett does this one interview and he says, if one of my teammates gets into a fight, I'm jumping in on his side.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fight's over, but you put your hands on my teammate, we're fucking going down.
Yeah.
When we get into the locker room, privately, I'm going to ask you, okay, bro, what happened? Why did we get into a fight?
Right.
When they go after Rollo's my friend. Even if I don't agree with everything he said, like I think he's too hard on you. Even if I don't agree with everything Rollo says, he's still my friend. I was going to defend him no matter what. Then when we talked about it, I was like, oh, I actually agree with you. This is stupid. Obviously, he didn't actually mean vasectomy. He was just saying this to be hyperbolic. And it's one of those situations where another example, the guys.
I understood the tweet.
Yeah.
I agreed with him.
What do you mean?
Like with Rollo, like, I mean, I understood what he was saying. He was talking about it's the fastest way.
The quickest way.
Yeah, and the only foolproof way really is a vasectomy. Like, I'm not saying do it, but I understood what he was saying. It was the
10 out of 10, 10 out of 10 idiot-proof way of doing it. That's what he was saying.
Yeah, and I understood what so I was like, I'm on your side, but it's okay.
Yeah, people just like took it out of context, and then we had a long debate about it. But the thing is, in the end, he won because like Ben Shapiro's not talking about me.
Right.
Matt Walsh is not talking about me.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In the end, he did win.
Yeah.
Right? But I thought it was interesting when men stand up for their friends or for their tribe, and then in this case, you have a woman who was part of your tribe and she doesn't. She just sells you up the fucking river. I think it's masculine to stand behind your friends even when they're wrong, but then to privately let them know, hey, bro, this is what we should be doing different. And what I'm seeing instead, though, is a lot of very unmasculine men going off and selling out their friends, snitching on their friends, trying to steal your girlfriend behind your back. That seems to be more of the case. One of the funny things that happens to me is because we said before, I have a ton of female friends. When my guy friends go to my female friends and they start running their mouth about me, I find out about it immediately. I'm like, bro, you're a snitch. You understand what I'm saying?
That's so true. Guys will run their mouths.
They'll run their mouth. Like the amount of information, bro, I'm like George Tenet, bro. I got so much CIA information on these dudes. And they don't realize that because they run their mouth to these girls and they think the girls are going to be loyal to them. And that's not the way it works.
Right.
When you're not loyal as a dude, to me, that's like worse than anything. That's why you'll never, even people that I don't like, you won't hear me talking bad about them behind their back because it's passive aggressive.
Well, you know that happened to me with the co-host, right? Like I had a co-host that like came out and said I was a colonizer.
Yeah. What do you mean?
You didn't hear about that? Yeah.
Specifically like colonizer, like the imperialist?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah. I guess, blessings here against his free will. apparently.
Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah, that's funny.
No, but it's crazy. It's crazy. The social media just like changes social dynamics because there's like money and throwing people under the bus.
Correct. So that, my point is, it's not feminine, but it's non-masculine to throw your friends under the bus.
Yes, that's like
it is masculine to go to jail for your homie and not snitch.
Right.
That is masculine. The reason why it's masculine is because your ancestors were willing to die for the tribe. That is masculinity. The ultimate form of masculinity is willing to die for your tribe.
Right.
Okay? The ultimate form of I'm not going to call it femininity. I'm going to call it non-masculinity. The ultimate form of non-masculinity is willing to snitch on your homies, steal his girl. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because I'm thinking like that's how do they get to the men? They would always like bring a woman and you know what I mean? Like have the girl sleep with the guy.
That's what happened with Petraeus. General Petraeus was the head of the CIA and he had to step down because he was cheating on his wife with a reporter. Well, if foreign service agencies...
I'm so genius, I'm sorry.
Yeah, once foreign service agencies find out that you're cheating on your wife, they can use it to blackmail.
You sound like a 9. Yeah. As many of you know, I was just banned on TikTok, and we are demonetized on a daily basis on this platform. If you want to help, please consider sending a super thanks below. Every donation helps, and it helps make what we do possible.